Next year, Uganda, you'll be taken to the polls. And this is my dream and admiration for a great nation, that we will bring back the lost glory in our beloved, beautiful, so rich, the Pearl of Africa. Hear me, we are a nation founded as a rebuke to tyranny, a nation of revolutionaries like Dr. Milton Obote, like Idi Amin, Yusuf Lule, Kabaka Mwanga, people who refused sovereign reign from afar, and they were able to do it by ourselves. Hear me, we are a nation that says, give us your tithe, your poor, your idle masses, yearning to break free. We are a nation built on our differences, guided by the belief that we are created equal. And we understand, we all know better, that being a Munyankole or an Acholi is the same thing. Being a Muganda or an Itesod or being a Mugeshu is the same thing. Being a Munyarwanda is the same thing. Because we all have the DNA in our red blood flowing in our veins, and we all deserve to breathe free. We are all in a geographical space gridlock called Uganda, and we all deserve to live better and free in the beloved nation Uganda. It's not our fault that we find ourselves in Uganda. I am a proud Acholi, and I know that being an Acholi is not different from being a Muganda or a Munyankole. Even when we were in a war which lasted for over 22 years, we could do anything that anybody could do. We could run corporations. And it was because of the blueprint that our brother wrote, that is Professor Dr. Olaro Tunu, that showed to the world that we needed to breathe and we needed to be free. Even when the heads and the leadership of our nation did not want to say that actually people were under a lot of attack, but we were denied the opportunity. But thank God our son rose, and even if he was supposed to be the Secretary General of UN, he was denied the chance by President Museveni not signing his paper, but still we saw him being the Under Secretary for Children's Affairs. And surely enough, the blueprint brought to book a lot of things that were really making us captive in northern Uganda. And going forward, I hold the view that we've got to do things differently, because so many things we underwent. There were so many things. We were ghettoed in the camps. We lost our cattle. We lost so many things, so many diseases and pandemics that came up which we do not understand and how they came about, like Ebola, Northern Syndrome, which ravaged our land, and we are still trying to build that land back on track. And I want to understand that even when our kids were put in the underfunded schools, they could do anything that anybody could do. And I long forward to seeing our great engineers, doctors, lawyers, and great leaders, the likes of, Bishop Mark Becker Ochola, retired DP General Norbert Mao, willing to sacrifice his life, even to go to the bush with the late Walter Ochola to bring about peace in the Northern Corridor. And surely enough, it came through. That's the sacrifice we love to see for our great nation, Uganda. That we will see the peace not only being talked about, but we are seeing peace at our dinner table. Now I long forward to seeing a united Uganda. That we all rise up amidst our differences. That we have got to do things together. And I know there are so many things that actually people lost, including our Bishop Janani Luhum, who was killed under Amin's regime. And I hold the view that going forward, that we Ugandans suffered so many times, even the World Triangle and the Kasese killing, and I hold the view that going forward needs us to go ahead and reconcile, and we need to have the reconciliation based on truth and justice, nothing but the truth, and thereby is going to help us to rebuild the Uganda that we all deserve. Now let us not be manipulated. Let us not manipulate ourselves to the people and leaders who do not care for our nation or the Acholi people. I long forward to kind of leadership that the late Walter Ocharo portrayed, that he was willing even to go to the bush, even despite the fact that he was under NRM, but he was willing to go with Norbert Mao to speak about peace to our brothers, the Lord Resistance Army. And I long forward to seeing more of those leaders who long to go forward to discuss real issues that are affecting our people regardless of their parties. I long forward to seeing the day and age where leaders like the late Walter Ocharo can rise up and stand on things that are going to affect the Acholi people, and they refuses to be manipulated, and they refuses to be used to the advantage of the people of the Acholi sub-region. And I refuse the kind of politics that we think quarreling and fighting and greed is going to shape our politics of Uganda and the Acholi people. And I hold the view that greed has no place in Uganda. Not even corruption has a place in Uganda. The Acholi people are known for truth, hard work, respect for one another, land, education are all center and key to the Acholi people. And just the same way, we Uganda, that's what we admire to see in our beloved nation. Not all leaders who are desiring to mortgage our future should be given a chance to do that. Especially for the young generations, we have got to rise up to do things differently. The Acholi people were known for their food, dances, and togetherness. And we know that an attack on any one of us is an attack on all of us. We are all created equal, whether you come from the east, north, central, or whatever part of Uganda, we are all Ugandans. And we all deserve to be united amidst our differences, because we Africans deal best with diversity. And I long forward to seeing that beloved part of Africa looking forward to working together, that we will no longer have people just desiring to teach patriotism, but patriotism is just built within ourselves, because we are seeing people who care for our nation and that are willing to add on to what they found our forefathers had already built, but not privatizing and selling them away, even when you don't know the ideas and dreams that the people who built had in mind. And I long forward to seeing the day and age where Ugandans shall be united, that no one has the moral authority to question our values. As Ugandans, no one has a right and the moral authority to call us a dumb nation, because we are brilliant and wise men who can take up leadership positions, and they can do the best they can to see our nation rising up on the next path, and a good path that will shape the generation that we long forward to belong to. No, Uganda, they don't have a chance. Most of those people who have those dreams and admirations for a beloved and great nation, they don't have a chance. And it's not lost on me that elections in Uganda is cutthroat. It's a matter of life and death. And all people who mean well, people who do well, they are desired not to breathe. And we do not long forward to seeing an electoral commission being one-sided, thinking of only one person because they care about them and their bread on their dinner table. They care about the people who appoint them to leadership positions. And I hold the view that going forward needs electoral commissions that are independent in the sense of truth and reality, to bring about the truth in Ugandans' political atmosphere. As we long forward to seeing democracy not only being spoken about by the NRM regime, but we long forward to seeing democracy on our dinner table, the peace that nobody is going to be killed on the streets of Kampala, if not in Gulu or in Mbale, in anywhere, because our women, our children, our men, they all deserve better. And they all need to breathe. And they all need to be alive and well. And I hold the view that going forward needs us not to concentrate on privatization, but build the great nation we all deserve. And I promise you, I'm not a Jewish prophet, but come next year, election year, Ugandans are not going to unite. I want you to ask me that after the election is done. And it's not lost on me that Uganda, we are happening to be coming from the African continent, and it's only in African continent where elections are not lost or won. And the loser will pick up a phone to call the winner that really the people spoke. Because they have their ways of seeing us moving through those hard paths which we do not wish to see in our Uganda. Uganda has been through a lot of challenges. Slavery, disease, pandemics, corruption, greed, every other sorts of thing. But every time we went through those stuff, we were able to rise up and come out differently, because the younger generations took it upon themselves to do things differently. With so many uncertainties, with the COVID-19 and so many challenges that are facing the democracy of our nation, the people who hold fancy jobs and big titles do not have all the ideas and solutions to the challenges that Mother Uganda is going through. And I hold the view that going forward will need us to avoid tribalism, sexism, greed and corruption and impunity. We all make mistakes. But if we are willing to listen to the truth that is inside of all of us, and we do that which is hard and tough, because that is what is got to be done. Most kids of these days think of doing things which are easy and convenient, but I hold the view that going forward with a lot of certainty, so many things up for grabs, we have got to do things differently. And that's why many stuff have been screwed up because of this. And we have got to figure out, we have got to have the younger generations to rise up to the occasion that we are going to do things differently. If it means rolling up our sleeves to take the actions, we have got to do that. And I hold the view that going forward, we have no any other idea but to shape our generation. This is our world to shape. And this is the quick decisions that I want to leave you with. First, don't be afraid. Because tough times will always come, but tough people prevail. Let us ground ourselves on values that are going to last, like honesty, responsibility, hard work, fairness, respect for one another's rights, and let us be alive and well at each other's struggles, to see them having ends to meet. let the voice of the voiceless be heard. That truth inside of us, if we are willing to listen to it, and we do it even if it's hard, even if it's inconvenient, you will be part of the solutions of the things that will be undergoing in our nation, Uganda. And if all of us will rise up, if we do things in a better way, then I promise you, people will notice you. They will gravitate towards you. And you will be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. And finally, let's build a community. No one does big things by themselves. We have got to build a community. Right now, when things are hard through the COVID-19 and the tough political atmosphere with a lot of oppression, a lot of brutality, it's easy to be cynical and think that, let me treat only myself, or people, my family, or the people who speak like me, the people who look like me, the people who pray like me, the people who call you comrade. But I hold the view that going forward, we'll need all of us to treat each other equally, because we have the shared humanity in all of us. And if we look forward to working for Uganda, that is going to help all the people have the same opportunity to afford universities, and everybody have jobs, and we better the institutions of learning. We have food to eat on our dinner table, healthcare systems that work for all the poor and the rich. And we see people not minding so much about the status, and we long forward for a free Uganda of corruption, that we do not see the $300,000 we lose annually still continuing with that trend. But we care to make education systems that work. We create the jobs for our students who graduate from Chambogo or Makerere University or in Gulu University, all around the world, all around our Uganda. If we are going to see our engineers, doctors, scientists, afforded an opportunity to practice what they have learned through the institutions of higher learning, if we are going to see a democracy not only being spoken about by the NRM regime, and we see a democracy that works for all the people, including the common men and women deep down, if not in Gulu region, maybe in Mbale region, or the Teso region, or Buganda region, all of us, we deserve to breathe free, and all of us, we deserve to have food security. We deserve to have peace, that we no longer see people going through robbery and murders on the streets of Kampala, if not in Gulu or Jinja. I long forward to the day and age where common citizens are treated because they have the shared humanity in them, and we do not see young women being abused, through the gender-based violence and so many other things, because the women are equally the same as men. And we do not wish to see our young girls getting pregnant while they are still in the teen age. We do not wish to see that. And we do not wish to see them, getting HIV, stroke, AIDS, which will, jeopardize their life. And we hold the view that going forward, we should leave all the things that, divide us, things that will put us, as different people, but let's focus on things that is going to see a Uganda that is one Uganda and one people. And I commit into your hands my dreams and admiration for a great nation. Because in our so rich a nation, we have all that we need to be great again. And if we can decentralize powers to the local governments, that communities should be involved in rethinking, reshaping, and working to raise our GDP, to alleviate poverty, ignorance, and none to die due to anger, that we will see our engineers, lawyers, and all professionals getting jobs, creating jobs to industrialize our nation, buy Uganda, build Uganda, that we no longer see iron sheets being imported and stamped in Uganda to see the Ugandan bati, but we see from the word go, the iron being made in Uganda and the brand being made and stamped in Uganda, but we do not import them from somewhere else. Because we have the professionals who can do that. And I long forward to seeing that Uganda. I long forward to seeing a Uganda where we are happy and celebrating the industries that are made within our localities, that we are buying and building the Uganda we deserve, because we have all the natural resources. We have all the wealth we need to make our nation a great nation. And I long forward to seeing that coming in perspective. Politicians are the least you can trust with your loyalty. But I pray that God may help us to open the eyes of our leadership, that they may see things differently. And we put Uganda on a different path. So help us, God. Thank you so much.